Hi, I'm Diana Rankin, and this is our messages and predictions for October 2016. It's a rainy day, and I had planned on going outside this beginning of October, but it's a little too wet, and there's been some lightning and thunder going by, so I thought I'd just stand here by the door so hopefully you can hear the rain. You might even see it. We might even occasionally have a lightning strike that you'll see. So it's a beautiful day uh, if you like rain, and it's getting a little soggy, but that's okay because we've had a pretty dry fall so far, and the rain is good for the land, the earth. We need it. And rainy days are kind of fun, aren't they? They're kind of those days to curl up with a good book. And we're going to curl up with my favorite book, which is Philip, my spirit guide, who gives us this book of oracles. Each page has a different message on it, and it's the Master's Book of Answers by Philip, and we're going to consult that later. But I wanted to give you a few words first before we get Philip's message. One of my viewers wrote and asked if I think ISIL was started because of all the negativity in the world. And I certainly want to, and what I wrote back and what I want to tell all of you is that negativity absolutely hurts us. It's not just one form of negativity, however. ISIL comes out of poverty, it comes out of fear, it comes out of anger, it comes out of frustration. And we each have that in our own lives. And here in the U.S. where I live, we're going to see even more of that in the month of October because we're leading up to this very volatile election. And those of you in the rest of the world, I know you're watching this election. Ohio is a very important state in this election, and the U.S. is a very important state in the world. And so we're all worldwide watching this election. Those of us who have to make a decision and vote, what I want to say to you is what I've been telling my private clients. And by the way, if you'd like to be a private client, my website is below. It's just my name, www.dianarankin.com. Please contact me and we can set up a private consultation. For those of you who live in other countries, we can work with phone, but usually we work with Skype if you're in another country, or if you're in this country in another state, again, it's Skype or phone. But what I want you to know when you go to vote, you need to look at the whole ticket. You need to look at the vice president candidate as well as the presidential candidate. A lot of things are going to happen over the next few years. These are not going to be easy years for the world, and these are not going to be easy years for the U.S. So please look at both candidates because you're voting for a ticket, not just one candidate. So who's the running mate? That is also going to be very important in this election. The other things I want to tell you is it is extremely important, those of us who are able to stay in the most positive of energies. We're going to be able in October, the weather's going to be very volatile, and we're going to see more storms, we're going to see more changes, we're going to see, it's like the earth has tilted and our seasons and our weather's changing. And of course, climate change is very real. We need to do our part to help the world heal itself. And as the world is healing itself, we are going to see a lot of upheaval. On the other hand, and this is what I really want to stress, if we stay in that very deep, loving, unconditional love, our personal lives will weather the storm, so to speak. We'll be able to get through them. Remember, our thoughts, our emotions project out into the world, and that is the reality we create for our own personal worlds. So even though the greater world out here looks like it's in turmoil and going a little crazy, we can have that deep peace within us. I want to also say that if you are still playing with the stock market, this is not the time to be doing that. It's really important. We're going to see a major drop in the stock market. I mean, we're going to see a crash. I hate to use that word. I hate to sound so negative, but I'm not a stock market person, but I've been telling my private clients for several months now, time to get out. Their time is running out. We'll either see a major change right before the U.S. election or a month or so after. So, and there may not be time for you to make those decisions. So you're really running out of time. You need to put your investments in a very safe place. That said, again, if we use our own intuition, if we stay in that very positive energy, and by the way, unconditional love does not mean we don't have boundaries. Absolutely, we must have boundaries. But we also have to be able to reach out and understand the other. We want to be able to reach through our own prejudices, our own bias, and look how the other is feeling. Look at the other with compassion and with understanding. If I come from this culture and you come from this culture, we can meet in the middle. You know, in the U.S., we have such a division between the Republicans and the Democrats and the left and the right, and it's enough already, enough. But what that is showing us, it's showing us the divisions within our own personal lives. We must heal those divisions within our own personal lives. That's how we heal the greater world. We're going to have a lot of chances to do that in October, because all of that stuff in ourselves that hasn't come up will come up in October. We'll see the reflection of that out here. And so for those of us who have been doing the work, October is going to run relatively smoothly. I want to say it's going to run a lot smoother than September for many of us. And it is, but for those of you who are caught in the negativity, who are caught in the anger, let it go. Let it go. You have to be able to let it go. You have to have a higher trust in your own spiritual self, because there's so much here, that so much beauty, and there's always another way of doing it. Today, for example, I really wanted to go outside. I wanted to walk among some of the leaves that are falling. As you can see, I live in a woods, and so many of the leaves, they're still up. You can see them. They're still green, and you'd never know fall was here. But if you look down on the ground, a lot of leaves are already on the ground, and I kind of hope to walk among them today when I talk to you. But obviously that wasn't going to happen. And then when the storm came, I was starting outside to set up, and then the storm came and the lightning came, and I thought, better go inside. But I do hope you can hear that soft rain falling. Now, I know you can hear one of my kitty cats here. A couple of them are running around playing, and they're playing with each other, and they're making a little noise, but that's all right. They're allowed to do that. But I'm hoping you can hear that soft rain. That calms me. That allows me to relax. That allows me to know that spirit is well and within me. I want you to have that too. I want you to know that no matter what happens in the world, no matter what happens in our lives, we're okay. That we have to still hold that unconditional love, that part of us that is so beautiful, that part of us that is pure love, that part of us that is pure spirit. If you're wondering a little bit more about that and want a little more information, take a look at my video. It talks about life as an umbrella, and I talk about how we are spirit, we are soul, and we are human, and that'll explain a little bit more what I'm talking about with when I say we want to be able to live from our spirit and let that settle into our human lives. Enough of that. Let me see what Philip has for our message for October. So we're gonna think left page or right page, and then we're just gonna flip through the book until I kind of get that intuitive hit that says stop. You know how I use this book, and actually I got this from a couple of my clients who said this is how they use the book. The clients were telling me that in the morning when they get up, they flip through the book to get their message for the morning. And so I found that after my morning meditation, when I'm sitting down to journal, that if I do the same thing, I flip through the book for a message. And it's amazing how accurate those messages are for me. I also have a lot of fun with this book when I do readings in public places out when I do speaking engagements, and I give audience members little messages, and it's amazing. Again, it's like, oh, how did you know that? How did Philip know that? And you can all tap into Philip. He's a very generous spirit guide, and we'll be happy to work with all of you. So let's see what he has to say, shall we? I'm going to think, gosh, I'm a little torn between right and left. And if I can't make up my mind, that says there's probably a message on each page for us. So I'm tending to go to the right, but I'm also going to read the left for you. So let's just flip through and see where we stop. There, thumb stop there. So the right message is the universe hands you a gift because you are ready, whether you know it or not. Oh, friends, now's the time to start using those gifts. And I know often to step out and start using our gifts can be so scary, but please, this is the month. This is the month to take one giant leap forward. You know, the frogs have been out around here, so it's like leap forward. Don't just jump. Don't just take one step. But if you can only take one step, gosh, do that. But if you can take a leap, go ahead. This will be the month for it. On the left side, this is interesting. It says, if yesterday's harvest was limited, perhaps you should plant more abundantly. Well, around here where I live in rural Ohio, the fields are all being harvested, and so it's interesting that came up, because if there's a lack in your life, it's because you've not yet done the work to plant the harvest. So maybe you need to plant more abundantly. Well, what does that mean? Well, maybe you need to look at what those gifts are that you've been given and use those gifts. It's not about give me this or give me that. It's about let me be of service and serve my life as well as serving the world. Use your gifts to serve life, and as you do, allow yourself to open to receive the great harvest of all that you've sown. Philip and I thank you for being with us. Thank you for living the best life you can. Enjoy your October. Stay as positive and as much in the power of love as you can. It's going to be a challenge at times, but you can do it. This is the time to reap our harvest. Thank you. I love you. I love you. And I'm so glad we've had this time together. This is Diana Rankin saying, until next time.